I didn't add myself to the stage. I did not add to my stage. GM, we are actually live here for real this time. Fastest GM of the day, best ball on call. Thank you for coming up. This is a 20-second BBM. So if you want to hop in, please do so. Bindles GM, good morning, my slop king. Yes, I am definitely not the slop king. Will of the Takecast Discord is the alpha and omega of slop, but we are, we're all just living in his shadow, trying to keep up slop summer. Skeletor GM, I was not planning to be able to go live today, but I will. I definitely will not be able to go tomorrow, but I actually have a video coming out. My first, I don't want to say long form video because it's not actually all that long, but my first pre-recorded video. So hopefully that people like that. And if you hate it, I won't do another one. GM, this is fine. Thank you so much for coming by. Since day one, D chat candles. Well, thank you. I appreciate. I'm only here because of all of you and how much fun this is to do with everybody. Good morning. Yeah, so waiting for one in a 20-second BBM. If you want to hop into this, please feel free. If anyone is wondering, these are the Davis Maddock rankings. I like his rankings, and I use them. I rotate which rankings I use, but those are what are in today. If you don't sub to his Patreon, you should, because he puts out great content, and I think his ranks are pretty solid. So let's see if we can't get one more to get this going. I'm going to be traveling. I think next week is going to be a little light in the streaming department, but I will do my best. I'll probably have to go over some slows that I've fired up. So we'll see, because I don't think I'm going to be in a underdog friendly state, but we'll see. We'll see what we can manage for the people. So let's see. Did anybody else get in here? I don't think I recognize anyone's name that hangs out here. I do know I was inverted. I see them from time to time, but I don't think they've ever actually come by. We're here in the 8 hole. I don't think I've drafted out of 8 in a while. I tend to get my last few drafts have all been like 11 and 12, and then a few drafts at the front of the board. So let's see how we do. We're kind of in the middle, which does give us the opportunity to make some decisions as far as pushing players around the turn, and not just having to reach up and get our guys. So hopefully we can build something cool today. I just finished a super flex with David and Hertzig. I think I drafted the shipper thanks to Hertzig trying to block the room from QB. Well, if anyone is going to have some mega mind ideas, it would be Hertzig. So I'm not surprised that he was playing a different game from everybody. And you never know. I would always be worried if I thought I got the best of him. I am up to 55 super flexes drafted. Can't stop, won't stop. Yeah, I've been having fun doing the super flex contest, mostly because they're just like so different, and you can get cool running back or receiver combos that you just can't get in these BBM formats. JT Best Ball, GM, thank you so much for coming by. And Hulk Smash Potatoes, I thank you so much for coming by. I don't know if I've seen you in here yet. I've definitely seen you in other channels, although maybe you have popped by. But anyway, absolute fantastic username, Hulk Smash Potatoes. It does get me every time. So again, thank you for coming by this morning. Let's see. So far, nothing out of the ordinary other than Jefferson at 4. Not too crazy, but I do feel like in BBMs he goes at 2 more often than not. Not going to do anything too crazy, and I will just take my ADP vegetables and get Puka Nacua. I like the Rams playoff schedule quite a bit, and yeah, never too upset to end up with Puka there. First live stream. Okay, good. I did not. I would have felt bad if I had forgotten that you'd come by, but thank you again. Thanks for hanging out this morning. So unless Greaves takes CMC, it looks like he might slip into the turn or even past, which is interesting. Now CMC more and more has been getting pulled up, but Amon-Ra goes at the 11. Back when YouTube was in its fledgling state, there was a viral stop motion animation title Hulk Cell. I remember a lot of, I mean, I'm old enough to remember like E-Bomb's World and like days before YouTube, but I do not remember Hulk Cell's cars. But I might have to go back and check that out. Stop motion video, there was Celebrity Deathmatch. If you remember that, then your back probably hurts as you are watching this stream. But that was my my first experience with stop motion animation. That was like the peak of comedy, and it really wasn't that funny. It really wasn't that great. Puka Nakua. I think I'm just gonna match him with Drake London and be pretty happy with that. And I think this is also a nice Week 17 matchup. I'm pretty sure the Falcons play the Rams, which is a nice. I don't always want to like correlate my Week 17 matchups in the first two rounds because I don't only want to end up with like the same combos over and over because again they're only going to correlate for 1 week. But I'm not going to pass that up when I get the very slight fall on one of my favorite plays with Drake London. Did you see Cam Scatabo not being able to recognize Calvin Johnson? They later showed him a picture of Golden Tate, and he asked, "Is that Megatron again?" Yeah, the kids, they just don't know. They just don't know their history. That's just the way it goes nowadays. If it's not out there on YouTube or TikTok, I don't know if I can expect a 20-year-old player to know all the legends. I mean, it's Puka Nakua, if I remember right, like they asked like he didn't know like the other divisions in the NFL. Like he didn't know like who played in like the NFC North. Like he's just like out there vibing. So I can't expect Scatabo to know Calvin Johnson. Although not knowing the difference between him and Golden Tate is somewhat alarming. E-Bombs, Jesus, yes, sorry, Skeletor. Yeah, we're deep in the bag today. Celebrity Deathmatch was something. Yeah, it was out there. I can't even say like if you don't know it, go back and look because I don't even want to recommend it. I am in my late 30s. I'm still on the correct side of 40 though. Skeletor. I'm hanging on. Not there yet, but yeah, I'm basically I think I'm Pete's age. Let's see. Although he's like looks so much younger, and he like wears tank tops because he's in a very good shape. All right. Let's see. Let's see. Rashi Rice goes at 28. He has been rocketing up draft boards. We have one pure piss boy here at the 101. I have an opportunity to join him there. Tyler Emo Cowboy Howdy, thank you so much for coming by. I'm just going to take JSN. I don't really want to double up on my Rams, and I'm not huge on Kyron this season. So I will take I'll take a share of JSN. Got a couple week 8 buys, but I'm not too big of a bye week bro, so I can make that happen. Hulk sells cars, vaguely familiar. Early days of YouTube feels like ancient history. Yes, when we were all relegated to the square screen. And I remember when they changed that, it was like really wonky because like half the videos were in a different format than the newer ones, but now only the really old videos are still square. But yeah, it is crazy how it's just become like the source of videos on the internet, and there's all those smaller sites have pretty much been sucked up into one. Unfortunately, this probably going to end up having to go either 4 receivers or take one of these elite quarterbacks. I don't really love James Cook. I like to leave the first 4 rounds with 1 running back. Lately, I've been a little more into the anchor RB builds, but that's not going to happen. I don't know if I necessarily want to reach up for Hampton here. If Lamar falls to me, I would take him. If Daniels comes, I would have to make a choice if I want to just go pure elite receiver. So Lamar doesn't come. I think I'm going to take another share of JMO, even though that's week 8. I'm just not going to worry about it. Week 8's going to be bad. Week 8's going to be bad, and we're just going to live with that. And yeah. All right. Jameson Williams, though, has been the pure hype pick. I do worry a little bit that he was kind of available for a long time in this contest in the 50s. But, when I'm going to be making some different bets on later running backs, I don't mind too much. I don't want to stop taking Jameson Williams. Again, an argument, maybe I should have taken Worthy or Devonta or even Daniels and building differently. I could have done that, but we're going to try a classic 0 RB, or at least, kind of piss boy start here. Hartman, GM, thank you so much for coming by. This, again, is a 20-second BBM. I think this is my 31st BBM. And so I'm trying to backweight these a little more towards later in June, July, and August, and not get too ahead of myself on the fill rate. But, yep, it is a little tough to fill some of the other contests. The eliminators and the sprints don't really fill this early in the morning. So running a BBM, we see Haymack when he goes Jamar, and Higgins did not want to risk pushing Burrow. Certainly understandable there, although I just ideologically, no matter what I'm doing, cannot take Burrow ahead of Hurts. It just feels like you're just sacrificing so much in pretty much both upside and floor. I mean, I know Burrow can have those massive spike weeks like he did in the playoffs last year, but to me, it just feels like a mistake taking Burrow ahead of Hurts. But again, that's just one man's opinion. With this coming around, I have to make the decision. If Mixon comes, am I too worried about the walking boot? I'm going to say no, but there he goes, taking the choice away from me. I'll just take RJ Harvey. This room is giving basically no ADP value whatsoever, which is a little unfortunate, but I'll take Harvey there. Do I think he's a little overpriced? Yes, but I don't want to end up with none of him. Maybe, it would have been a little nicer if I had Worthy there, because that would have made another week 17 stack. But, again, I don't want to always end up with, Worthy and Harvey together. Like Harvey and JMO could absolutely be who you need as well. Sprints really don't fill any time of day. Yes, unless Jewish McCaffrey is out there banging the drum and putting up the bat signal, the sprints can be a little difficult to fill. But that's okay. I've actually come around to the sprint format. I'm really hoping later, when football hype picks up and training camp and we're getting more news and people are amped up for the season, we see those fill faster, because it is a fun format. I really like the idea. I love that they lowered the price point, because 50 was too high for me to really do too many of those. It does, it eliminates pod luck, which just creates a different contest. I'm not saying that I don't like pod luck. I think it's necessary. You don't want all the teams that are in the finals to be identical, but it just creates a different format. It puts a huge emphasis on drafting. I don't want to say it takes the element of luck out. It just kind of changes where the element of luck goes in. Again, I don't think I want to take a 5th receiver here ahead of a second running back. I will take another vegetable pick with Kamara. Again, I think we're kind of reluctantly admitting that he's a good pick. I don't see why he won't have 1,400 yards next season unless he's injured. Again, I have to think he's going to be a focal point of the offense. They love him there. Devin Neal does not look good. I wish he did. He doesn't look good. And Kendre Miller can't stay healthy. So going to take a swing on Kamara. No ADP values, no problem. Just got to draft the room you're given. 100% Scalator. I don't want to force anything. I don't want to force anything here, and we'll just keep on taking guys. We'll draft. We'll pretend we're Hertzig, and we'll just value hound it and build a structurally solid team, and be on our way. How hard could it be? How hard could it be to get a team to the finals every year? I don't know how many people have done that. I don't know how many people have a finals team all 5 years of this. I know Herzig does. I don't know if anyone else has that feat, but it is very impressive because you're expected to get to the finals every 8 years on average if you max it and you like draft like fine. Like that's really incredible to do it 5 years in a row. So definitely knows what he's doing. So let's pull back up the board and see if there's anything too out of the ordinary. I don't really see anyone doing anything crazy. Immaculate going 3 running backs, only having 1 receiver through 6. Interesting structure there, trying to catch up with some late receiver value. Other than that drafter, everyone's kind of standard in my opinion. If I start thinking about quarterbacks, we've got Stafford, we've got Penix, we've got Darnold, Goff. So no one who's going to go before at least the 10th round. So I don't really have to start thinking about quarterback unless I want to consider this like Justin Fields. I take a ton of Justin Fields when I have Garrett Wilson, but I don't only want to have them. So Fields, I think, is one guy you can consider taking naked when you're drafting at this part of the board, trying to differentiate some of the teams. And I'm already on the clock. I'm on the clock, and I will take Caleb. Once again, the ADP value is going to fall to us, and I'm going to feel a little better about my running back room, starting with 4 receivers and then taking 3 running backs. At least I don't feel like I'm going to be sacrificing too much there. Very high on Caleb. I really like Hawkinson this year. I've been somewhat Hawkinson pilled. Mooney makes sense. I could really build out like a massive bet on the Falcons. But again, I think there's a good chance that these that Jones, Pacheco, and then Swift are going to go before it comes back to me. And then I'm going to be like stretching down into this like Scatabo, Mason, Warren range where there's a lot less certainty. Although I can't really say that there's like tons of certainty with Caleb Johnson when he could end up splitting a little more with Warren than we are hoping. 3 spot is a little weird also. I will pull them up when I come back up here. So let's see. Aaron Jones, interesting shout. If he comes, Pacheco's been getting some good camp news. I've been trying to get a little more Pacheco, and then Cooper Kupp would allow me to really lock up the Seattle passing game. So that would be interesting there. But then it represents another week 8 bye. That's a lot of week 8. That's a lot of week 8. I think I'm going to take Aaron Jones here. It gives me a little bit of a week 17 thing with the Lions, with my JSN. And, now I feel a lot better about my running back room. Again, Aaron Jones could certainly lose more work than we want to Jordan Mason. I'm pretty high on Jordan Mason this season, but again, taking a little bit of ADP value if we're truly going to draft like Herzig. Herzig could look at this team and be like, what are you doing? But we're going to pretend. All right, the 3 hole, Bijan, McBride, Jacobs, and Cook. Okay, so yeah, they did no running backs through 4, and then have Flowers, Godwin, and Jacoby Myers. Yeah, that wide receiver room is pretty darn thin. Let's see what they do here. Let's see if they take another receiver. No, they take Kyler unstacked, which, okay. I was going to say the MHJ drafter. Oh no, they have Trey McBride. They have Trey McBride. So that makes sense. Although Kyler, you could make an argument is perfectly reasonable to take unstacked. I think he might run a little more this year than last. Kamara, Jones with 2 rookie running backs seem solid. Yeah. Thanks, Hulk Smash. I think this is fine. I do not mind this room at all. I think it could be a room that starts off okay and then ends pretty strong with Caleb and Harvey. Aaron Jones, he's a tough player to grade for me. I don't know if other people have this issue where I don't know how to think of him. And I think the ADP is somewhat reflective of that. We're not really sure, but we don't want to like punt him off too late because he's a very explosive player. He plays on an offense we're excited about. They're going to run the ball a lot, catches passes, can pretty much do everything. So, rookie quarterback. We don't know how the passing running breakdown is really going to happen over there. So thinking ahead to what I'm going to be doing, there goes the aforementioned Mason. Probably tight end time. I think it's a little early to take Goff. We don't need to do that. Don't think I want to take Warren and then end up with all of the Pittsburgh running backs. I don't think this is the room to do that, to take 5 RBs here. I think it's an interesting concept, but not one that I've tried quite yet. For tight end, Travis Kelce. Okay, so Travis Kelce would be the guy, but he just went. I think I'm going to take Evan Ingram ahead of Mark Andrews on this team. I do have RJ Harvey, so maybe make a little bit more of a bet on Denver. This way, if Bo Nix for some reason falls, I don't expect him to fall another 8 picks because he's at the top of the queue. But if he did, that would at least potentially open that up. If Nix goes, then I'll probably try to add Goff. If Goff and Nix go, then I will just take I'll take one of these running backs in this range. So that's kind of the plan here, and we'll see what we can get. I think Jones's price is fair. I like him on 0 RB bills for locked in early season production. Hartman, yeah, I think his price is fair. I think that is 100% 100% right. It's kind of a fair price, but if he has more of the split than we expect, because I think Mason is going to get, it's probably going to be like a 60-40 in my opinion, but who knows? This guy might takes Goff. So if Nix comes to us, that would be pretty nice. If Nix doesn't come to us, then we're going to be in not the world's greatest shape as far as quarterback. We're going to have to make sure we get Penix and Stafford on this team. So we do get Nix. All right, I'm pretty surprised he came around. Will not complain about that. Windmill in that pick. So the team so far is Bo Nix, RJ Harvey, Alvin Kamara, Caleb Johnson, Aaron Jones, Puka Nacua, Drake London, JSN, JMO, and Evan Ingram. I have to say I like how this team comes together. Was nice to get that value. Who Hames, sup fam? Thank you so much for coming by. The Who crew is strong. If you do not sub to Who Hames, you absolutely should. Same with Hartman. Actually, Hartman's out there in the content mines. Apologies for not shouting you out earlier. Who Hames? This is a 20-second BBM. 20-second BBM. So yeah, this will unfortunately be the only draft I can run today, just so you all know. But yeah, so far so good. Hopefully we can land the plane. ATX Bearcat, thank you for coming by. Yes, I think the team so far so good. So far so good. Let's see where. I just want to make sure I'm up to date. So Penix at 148, Stafford at 160. So hopefully we can make another couple picks before we have to take a quarterback. Again, being that I only have 4 receivers definitely going to be a priority here at 128. Hopefully we can get one of the guys falling. Kyle Williams used to be there. He's been pushed up lately. I don't know if this is Diggs related or if it's just, camp buzz or just general excitement and frothiness about some of these rookies. Hollywood Brown would be an interesting pick. He would represent a bring back in Denver. Hollywood Brown, not my favorite click. Christian Kirk getting some decent draft news. There goes Hollywood Brown. So this is a pretty dead range for receiver. So if Kirk goes, I'm not going to force it because I really don't want to reach 20 picks for Josh Palmer or QJ. Might just really have to probably stop at 5 running backs. Okay, so Kirk goes. A little unfortunate there, but that is just the way she goes. I don't think there's a reason to take any of these other quarterbacks around here. I don't think that would make any sense. I think Tootin would be my pick if Tootin is gone. Okay, so Tootin comes to us. I'm just going to take the ADP value. This way, I feel like if I have to stop at 5 RBs, I can. Again, I don't normally have 5 running backs before 5 receivers, but I did start with 4 receivers. So you got to draft like you're right. You got to draft like these are the guys. And yeah, we'll see what comes up to us next. We're picking at 137. So maybe that will be Penix time if he comes to us. Again, my next quarterback could potentially be just Stafford. We could just have Nixon Stafford. Feels a little thin, but we'll see. Also, of course, Sam Darnold is a late QB option. So let's just see what comes to us. It might be tempting if like a Tyler Warren's there to take Warren to pair with Ingram. Again, I just don't know if I want to take QJ or Palmer here. That just doesn't feel like it's adding a whole heck of a lot to the team. And maybe one of the late tight ends can help us build a back stack. All right, yeah, I'm just gonna take Penix at this point. The Warren fall is certainly tempting, but I do think I'm really kind of high on Penix, so I'll take him here. Interesting choice. Don't drop the baby. Yeah, I don't know. I can't decide if Warren is like a pick that's a baby dropping pick or like now we've like swaddled the baby in like really nice stuff and the baby's actually even happier. Off brand for you to get a stacked QB this soon. I'm used to the back stack scramble. I know, it's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, I tend to be frantically talking myself into like, well, I have JJ McCarthy and now Ty Felton. Welcome to the team. Hartman, team's looking nice so far. Thank you, Hartman. Yeah, I like the squad so far. We'll see what the room gives us as far as late receiver value. It's pretty unpleasant having to scramble for late wide receivers, but again, when you draft 4 receivers to start with, you just have to be comfortable because, gosh, I keep going to Herzig. This is the worst. I'm fanboying. I'm not trying to fanboy him, but he did say quality or quantity, not both. And that's like really true. Like I do not need 8 elite receivers. There is no reason to do that. They cannot all hit my lineup and my other positions will be bad, but let's see what we end up with here. I have come around to Josh Palmer. If Josh Palmer is there, I will take him. If I could end up with like Palmer Stafford, that would make sense. And then I could be done. Make this a nice 3 quarterback team. Let me see, where did Adams go? Adams is 31. So I could push Adams to 161 if Vandy doesn't take him here. And I doubt Vandy will because he has Mahomes and Dak, but we'll see. I mean, obviously someone over here could do it, but being that Greaves already has 3 quarterbacks, and I think Reichington does too, it really is only immaculate. It really is only immaculate there. So I will, what's going on here? Is Palmer actually available? Okay. I don't know why. Like thought I was sorted by ADP, and Palmer was not at the top of it, but he was there. So anyway, add Josh Palmer to the team. Not my favorite click on the planet, to be perfectly honest with all of you, but he's been getting some good buzz. They paid him like he's going to be out there. Don't mind getting a piece of Buffalo's offense. It's going to be kind of week to week there, but as a 5th receiver, I do feel like you could do worse. Chad Candles, aka Arbitrage Herzig, to the DFS content. Oh my God, I know. I'm only 5,300. So if you are trying to jam Liam, Corain, and Herzig, and you need salary savings, you could take Chad Candles and then be disappointed. But no, I do love that contest. I think it's pretty fun, and hopefully, if people roster me, I can get them through. Let's see if Immaculate could always take Staffy because they do need a second quarterback. But hopefully, I think this is the Betch guy. No. Let's see what Immaculate does. He winds the clock and takes Knoll. So I'll just take Stafford. I got to say, so far the team has really come together how I've wanted it. We've got Nix, Penix, and Stafford at quarterback. RJ Harvey, Kamara, Caleb Johnson, Aaron Jones, and Bashal Tutin at running back. A wide receiver room of Puka Nacua, Drake London, JSN, Jamison Williams, and Josh Palmer, with Evan Ingram holding it down at tight end. So we are officially done at quarterback. And not too disappointed with how it's coming. Gonna probably end this team with 3 tight ends. I'll take 2 tight ends late, and probably just 2 more wide receivers, I think, is how I'm going to want to wind this down. I think I'm going to stop at 5, unless for some reason there is truly some receiver value or some running back value that we are trying to get. Palmer seems like a good best ball pick. The Week 17 Eagles matchup is rough, but you never know. I agree with you, Hulk Smash Potatoes. It makes me very worried about the Buffalo pieces. In my opinion, that game is going to be over in 2 hours. There's going to be like 85 rush attempts. The clock is never going to stop running. I feel like that game is going to be gross. I want it to be like the 2 most exciting offenses playing each other, like the NFC, AFC, like gig offense game. But in my mind, it's just going to be like just old school football, like running the ball 5 yards in a cloud of dust, just over and over. But I don't want to only draft like that. I got to have some hope that there is some joy in brightness in our futures. If I could get Pat Bryant, that would be pretty nice. Build out the Knicks stack. I'm also really in on Brenton Strange, but I have 2 people who only have 1 tight end, so I would be surprised if Strange came around. But I think if Bryant comes here, that's just too much to pass up. If Bryant goes, which he doesn't, so I'm glad I wasn't reliant on Darnold. I'm queuing him up to just look ahead. I want to add 1 more tight end. I would happily take Otten or Taylor, and then if they both go, then probably just punt off tight end to the last 2 rounds and let the fates decide who we get. So adding Pat Bryant to the room. Some nice rookie upside, pairing it with Bo Nix. Pretty happy once again with how that came together. Let's see what comes to us. I'm really in on Roschon. I take quite a bit of him, but once again, I do think maybe going 3-5-7 makes sense, especially when I do have a pretty big week 8 bye problem. And I'm pretty happy with this running back room, even though I started 4 receivers. Maybe we'll end with 3 late receivers, kind of 3 dart throws in this range. Best pick on the board. I assume you're talking about Palmer, and in which case I'm coming around to him. Unless you're talking about Pat Bryant. But you don't strike me as someone who gets caught up in the slappy steam Huhaim. So I don't think you're talking about Pat Bryant, who has rocketed up the draft boards. Firemouth is an interesting case. Hold on, let me see where Atwell goes. Atwell goes at 103. So I think I'd rather take Mason Taylor, and if I don't get Atwell, then that's fine. Really high on Mason Taylor this year. I have liked him. I liked him in the big board. I like him now. He is also I forget actually. No, the Jets don't play. I think the Jets play Buffalo during the playoffs. The Jets play New England last, so I made that up. But I do like Mason Taylor quite a bit. And now if I get like a super late tight end, I feel a little better than complete punt offs. Oh, who aims started the Pat Bryant steam? Oh, who aims is the best? Who aims? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was there trying to say that you don't get caught up in the hype, and then I found out you are the hype. So I I apologize. Okay, who aims? I should have remembered that. Um, well, well, I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed, but I am glad to have him on the team, and now I can have a who approved squad here. We'll see if we do get our guy Tutu Atwell, and if not, we'll take another tight end, and then we can figure out who we want late at receiver. There's quite a few decent punts at receiver. I say decent, they're probably all zeros, but they're fun to click in June. I can vouch for who Pat Bryant. Oh my gosh! Now I'm getting the pylon. Who aims very interesting super flex with Davis this morning. I'll post it to your Discord if my cellular data will cooperate. Well, Dirty P, I don't want you to get hit with any roaming charges there. All good. I ended up with 7.3 pre-draft when no one was taking him. Feels pretty good. Yeah, I might have like 2 shares in the big board. Like I don't think I never clicked him, but he definitely was not. I was like taking like Torrey Horton, like in that range of guys who just like didn't get drafted 100% of the time, trying to sprinkle them in. And I think Pat Bryant made that list. Looking forward to it. Yeah. Those super flex drafts, when you end up with like streamers and stuff, are kind of fun to see how they end up. All right, we are coming around. Tutu is still there. If Tutu goes, I'd probably just take like Juwan Johnson, and then if Juwan Johnson goes, these tight ends are all pretty interchangeable dart throws. So we'll get Tutu Atwell. I know I said I wanted another receiver because I have week 8 bye problems, and I took another receiver with a week 8 bye. Them's the breaks. Hopefully Drake London, Josh Palmer, and Pat Bryant could do something in week 8, or we're really just gonna have a wholesale zero there. What are you gonna do? All right. So at tight end, I think my preference is generally Juwan Johnson. If I sort by rankings, Davis has it as Arroyo first, but I'll take. I do think I want Johnson. I have Kamara, so I've got a little bit of a thing going, saying that that New Orleans is not going to be terrible. But again, if I have to end up with like Jatavion Sanders, that's fine. I'm not big on this Ferguson Higbee thing. Feels super messy with the Rams. So I'm going to try to avoid that and just end this team with Juwan Johnson. So the final team, we got a 3-5-7-3. We got Bo Nix, Penix, and Stafford at quarterback. RJ Harvey, Alvin Kamara, Caleb Johnson, Aaron Jones, and Bashel Tutin at running back. We've got Puka Nacua, Drake London, JSN, Jameson Williams, and then Josh Palmer, Pat Bryant, and Tutu Atwell at receiver, with Evan Ingram, Mason Taylor, and Juwan Johnson at running back. So pretty happy with the team. The plan kind of came together. I didn't get sniped on anybody I was in on. Got some falling value on Nix. Again, if you have been in my streams, I generally am not like overly optimistic about my teams. I will tell you when I think they went awry, and I think this one actually went okay. So thank you all so much for coming by. No stream tomorrow, but I do have a video coming out, so I'm excited for my first pre-recorded video. If you have not liked and subscribed, please do so. We're on the road to 200 subs. Who Hames, I won't take your bit and make it like 203 subs. I will just do round numbers. You are the the odd number sub goal guy, but I do love that bit, Who Hames. So everyone, thank you again so much for coming by, and I look forward to hanging with you all soon. Take care, everyone.